we here? We are all connected to the stars. We are all one. Who do you want to be?
Hello and welcome back to all my lovely souls out there. Welcome to Gaia Intuitive's YouTube channel, where we explore everything from spirituality, extraterrestrial contact, psychic awareness, channeling, and much, much more. Please subscribe, hit the thumbs up. It will not only help me, but it will also keep you in the loop as well when new content comes out. Now, today I wanted to jump on and have a bit of a chat about the astral experience I had last night, which is sitting right in the forefront of my mind right now because it is early here in Australia. Now, this experience happened on board a craft, and I'm going to take you through the process of what I experienced. So it really began with somewhat of like an entrance. And there was a door, almost like if you think of like an igloo, like a really small round kind of door. Now, this door did not look like it could fit people through it. There was a number of people, when I became lucid in the dream, it was at this point, and I was expected to go through this hole. Now, there were a number of beings in front of me, and my first thought was, how are you all going to fit through there? Within a split second, they were already walking through, but what happened was they were actually distorting as they went through. So they were going through as a group as well. And as they all went through and merged into this hole, into this doorway, I could almost see the distortion happening, and they were inside. So I made my way inside as well. And then once inside, it became evident to me that I was on some kind of a craft. I did not get to see what this craft looked like from the outside. However, on the inside, it was shaped more or less like a triangle. So at the back where we first walked in, it was like the longer end, and then it sort of went forward and came to a point at the front. Now, I've got a few notes here as well, so I'm just going to glance at the notes if I need a bit of a mind jolt. But the entities that were on board this ship were none that I have ever interacted with before knowingly. They had quite tan skin. They had long dark hair. They were all female, all feminine. They were absolutely stunningly beautiful, mesmerizing. I was mesmerized by how alluring they seemed to be. Their energy was full of love, and they were quite tall. So I would say maybe around like 6 or 7 foot. Now, these beings told me very quickly to sit down and get ready. So they all had somewhat of a piece of paper, or it seemed to be like a piece of cloth. This piece of cloth was, it looked like almost like a potato sack kind of cloth. So it looked visually quite rough. However, when I grabbed it, it was almost like air or like satin. It was just really flowing and soft. And I sat on this piece of material. As I did so, they told me to hang on. I was a little hesitant, and a little slow to catch on. So before I knew it, we were like jolted forward, and I wasn't quite prepared. So I turned around and grabbed hold of this being behind me, and she grabbed hold of my arm as well. I knew that she had my safety, or she understood that I had that concern and that I wasn't feeling completely secure, and I felt very secure in her company. As soon as we landed, which only took, it was within the blink of an eye, we had landed. And the peak of the front of the ship it was all white inside as well. And there were no harsh angles. Everything was quite like rounded. And so at the front of the ship, where it came to the peak, I'm not sure if you guys have ever seen on like a movie where they have like they show a portal where there's like a round, and it sort of like goes into another dimension. That's what the front of the ship kind of did. And so it became quite transparent. And what I saw was an abundance of animals. They were everywhere. These were wild animals. They were animals that I'd seen before here on Earth. They ranged from, pandas to cats and felines, wild cats as well. There were like lions, there were bears, there were wolves, and everything from even like little mice and chickens and or ground birds and things like that. Now, we examined and watched them, interacted with those animals for a while. One of those animals, one of the birds actually latched onto me. I had a moment where I couldn't, it was not leaving my hand. And then I heard a voice say, just take a deep breath. You've done this before, you know what you're doing. And so I managed to disconnect from that animal, from that being. And it was a really lovely experience. I felt like we were in some sort of like there was an abundance of greenery, of grass, of really beautiful like ferns and things like that. We were inside the ship, but because of the transparency, there really was no barrier between us and the outside. Now, we went back onto the ship, and this time I held on tight. We went through again, and this time when we stopped, we walked over to the same area at the front of the ship. And what I saw then was a complete disarray of nature. There were dead animals everywhere. They were lifeless. They were laying there. There were a lot of animals that were rotting away and had been eaten or tortured, or it really wasn't pleasant, and it was quite upsetting to experience. Now, one of the animals that I interacted with in particular was this Great Kitten. And I haven't spoken really publicly about many of my astral experiences previously, but one of my first experiences on a craft, which happened about 2 years ago, that was a big black triangular craft. And as I stepped off that craft, I looked back and there was a Great Kitten sitting on the wing of that craft. I took it as it was quite symbolic. That's at least what the impression that I had from that. And so in this same dream that I had last night, there was a Great Kitten that I was interacting with, which was definitely took me back to the experience that I had on the black triangular craft. Now, the material of the craft itself, there were a lot of things, like it was white inside, almost like a luminescent kind of white. It wasn't it was very clean and clear. There was not much in there. There was a section on my right hand side which had materials and boxes and things, or things that looked like boxes, or like storage kind of containers and things like that, where they may have put things that they needed. The distorted entrance as well was something that really, really, it was something that I didn't actually recognize and remember to begin with. I had to really like sit and go back into this experience afterwards to remember that part. And I remember it very, very vividly now, that they completely distorted their bodies to go through this portal into the ship, the entrance into the ship. Now, upon finishing in that area, we left, and I was told that, so I made the choice. I said that I'd like to leave, and they took me to, so this happened as well on what seemed like to be just on the side of a freeway, in the middle of nowhere, cars, trucks just going along a freeway, and then this was happening on the other side. Now, when I left the craft, I felt like I had been placed on some kind of like a train, or maybe like a train or a tram or a bus, and been and traveled for somewhat of a distance. It felt like at least a couple of minutes. But as soon as I stepped off, the craft was gone, but I was in the same location that I was previously, on the side of the highway, with cars going past, and my family was there with me. My family from this reality were there, and asking if I was okay, and of course I was, and we reconnected. It was a really wild experience. I think for me, these sorts of dreams are nothing out of the ordinary. However, I do feel like it's really important, and to be speaking about this openly, as more and more people are having these sorts of experiences. And had I not started speaking about this sort of thing publicly, I really would have gone through life genuinely believing that every single person experienced these kinds of things on a nightly basis. So I felt compelled to share this with you guys, and I really would love to come forth and continue sharing my astral experiences, because they're not only fun to delve into, and there are many different aspects that you can pick apart and analyze, but they also help me in opening up my voice, opening up my throat chakra, and allowing myself to be able to get this out in a way, rather than just writing it down, a couple of words. I can then express the entire situation as the story unfolds. Now, in the future, I would love to take you back to the dream that I did have on the triangular black craft, it is quite a lengthy story, and it does have a bit of a backstory to it, because it was something that progressed over a number of years, and then finally led up to this one really exciting moment where I got to experience that for the first time. So I'd love to hear from anyone. Drop in the comments below if you have had any really exciting or influencing astral experiences. It's something that I've experienced, as I mentioned, my whole life. I really, really enjoy this subject. It makes me really excited, and I think that there's a lot that we can learn, not only about ourselves, not only about the collective, what else is out there, different densities, dimensions, our connections, our counterparts from other souls, other systems, and things like that too. So as I said, drop the comments below. Please like and subscribe to my channel. It would mean the world to me. And I can't wait to chat to you guys again soon. I've got another video coming out later today, which I'm really excited to put that out. That's about shifting realities. And much love to you all. I can't wait to touch base soon. Take care.